Good afternoon, Mayor. My name is Creighton Jones Jr., and I'm writing to you this afternoon in regards to an incident that took place in January. I've also reached out to the Burlington Free Press and the ACLU with no response. Before I continue, I want you to know that I am coming to you out of respect and fairness, as I'm sure you weren't informed in detail of the situation. My first instinct was to contact the Vermont Digger and other media outlets about this incident, as it's been a month since I've emailed the Burlington Free Press and ACLU and haven't heard a response. After some time, I realized this would only blindside you and wouldn't be fair to you. It wouldn't have given you the respect and chance you deserve to address this situation, and for that, I apologize. Mayor, I am writing this on behalf of my brother Eric Jones, as his older brother. My brother was the gentleman involved in the Burlington Police Department incident where he brought a knife and a quote-unquote butcher knife to the department a few months ago. This incident was soon after released to the public via the news and social media outlets, and he was looked at as a man that was another criminal catch and release, as his records were also released to the public in the process. He was seen as being part of the general population and as someone you need to protect yourself from, someone that needs to be put away. Eric is a man with a physical and mental disability as well as a mental illness. He has autism and is mentally delayed, and this puts him in the form of a 10 to 13-year-old at times. His physical disability makes it so that he can't protect himself if he needs to, and his dexterity is limited. He can barely zip a zipper. On this particular early morning, after my mother left for work, he left the house and headed for the police department. Eric has also struggled with schizophrenia for the last few years, and the illness is being regulated better as time goes on. I'm not saying I'm making an excuse for his actions, as they were very wrong, but his personal history was omitted from the news and media outlets. The state of Vermont, Burlington Police Department, Burlington Fire Department, Fletcher Allen Healthcare, all know who Eric Jones is and how much of a threat he isn't, and that he needs extra care and is getting it. Eric used to bring homemade chocolate chip cookies to both the fire and police departments. The fact that this information was not released to the community and my brother was labeled as a threat by the public was irresponsible, dangerous, and manipulative. Irresponsible and dangerous because he is a man with the mind of a 10-year-old that can't physically, let alone verbally, defend himself at times. He is unaware of and can't comprehend most social situations. All of this with him being in the care of my mother, who is very capable of taking care of him, but is older and a single mother. We all know how the community reacts to threats to the public. Sometimes there's an overreaction, and people like to take things into their own hands. They come after those threats, and unbeknownst to them, because of their omission of information, they don't realize those people can't defend themselves and are harmless. This was also manipulative because of the omission of Eric's condition. If his disabilities and actual history were released, the public would not have been in the uproar they were in, causing my family to have to defend my brother in every way possible. This just so happened to be done during a budget week for the department, which they later passed. My brother, a man with autism, a physical and special disability who has the mental illness known by said department, was used to pass the budget. A man with a special disability was used as a stepping stone by the Burlington Police Department for more money. I understand that more police are needed. I support this, as I know Burlington is starting to suffer due to a lack of it. But for the sake of safety, morals, and ethics, this is what was done to a man with special disabilities and his family. All in all, the release of information about Eric was morally and ethically wrong. The omission of his condition to the public was deceitful and irresponsible. If you were to meet Eric in person because of the news and what was released, your response would be, "Oh my God," because it painted a complete opposite picture of who he is. The man, mentally and physically, couldn't hurt a fly. I'm reaching out to you today to help me hold those involved accountable. I refuse for my brother and family to be collateral damage for someone's financial gain. The police department and certain media outlets need to be held accountable for misinformation. I say misinformation because legally, as we all know, omission is seen as a lie in the eyes of the law, and they did it to the entire city of Burlington. How can you trust your local police department when they show this kind of integrity? My brother couldn't protect himself, and my mother just wanted to let it go. I'm here to defend them, and my goal is to shed light on this situation, to prevent it from happening again to someone else. Mayor, I am a veteran of Operation Enduring Freedom. and a former Vermont Army National Guardsman, whom I deployed with. I served as the medical non-commissioned officer for the Mobile COVID Task Force, in which we made sure communities had access to COVID testing so they could return to work. I'm also a former teacher and paraprofessional who taught at the Integrated Arts Academy, the same elementary school I attended when it was called H.O. Wheeler. I am now a professional actor and part of SAG-AFTRA, and have recently moved back to Vermont from LA and New York to give back to my family and community, the same community I grew up in and want to give hope to, as I'm sure you want to as well. I will also end this by adding that the quote-unquote butcher knife that was brought to the station was actually a 5-inch charcuterie board cheese knife. Thank you for your time. Very respectfully, Creighton Jones.